Hello, good morning, and welcome to This Date in History, also known as TDH. This show is all about the events that occurred to date in years past, both recognized by actual historians, but mainly things we personally find intriguing enough for us to bring to you. The sources of this information come from the smart device application Today in History, What Happened Today in History, Historical Calendar, and the website onthisday.com. For links to those sources, music, and anything else potentially interesting, check the underbar of the description below. Anyway, I am Aoxander, and you, viewer, are you. Today is September 20th, 2022. I don't know what I'm doing. 20th, 22, I don't know. Anyway, let's move on to Hey Peter. Well, when Joe Swanson suddenly come in the show? Anyway, starting in 368, Emperor Valentinius visited Nijmegen. Okay. We have a historic siege in 1187 in which Saladin began the siege of Jerusalem. Alright. And 1519, Spanish expedition led by Portuguese navigator Ferdinand Magellan set off in the first successful circumnavigation of the globe, although he was killed en route, so he did not survive the entire trip, but he started it, so that's pretty cool. And it was successful, by the way, so... Moving on up into 1620, the battle at Jassy, Turks defeated King Sigismund III of Poland. 23 years later, 1643, the First Battle of Newbury, during the English Civil War, King Charles I's forces were beaten by a parliamentary army. Parliamentary army led by the Earl of Essex and Philip Stapleton. Why can't I read today, man? So the parliamentary army. For a second, I thought it was paramilitary, but that's not paramilitary. That's parliamentary. So, 1664. I just saw this. Maryland passed the first anti-amalgamation law to stop intermarriage of English women and black men. Ooh, that's not good. I hope that didn't last long. So, anyway, moving on up into 1746, Bonnie Prince Charlie fled to France from Scotland. Yep. 1777, Battle of Paoli, British forces under Major General Charles Grey attacked Brigadier General Anthony Wayne's encampment. Claimed the British gave no quarter led to claims of the British giving no quarter led to engagement becoming known as the Paoli Massacre. Dang. So yeah, they just went in there. They wouldn't back off. So that's in the movie The Patriot, he described it like the tenacity of the Brits. They will keep coming and coming and coming and coming, and they will win. So until he lost. 1883, Charles Darwin arrived in Buenos Aires after traveling through the Argentine interior with gauchos. Alright. So passing around through Argentina. That's pretty cool. Well, let's see. What is this? In 1839, the first railroad in the Netherlands opened, the line from Amsterdam to Haarlem. Alright, that's pretty cool. 1850, the slave trade was abolished in D.C. I assume that's Washington, D.C., but slavery was allowed to continue. Well, I mean, it got rid of the trade, but everybody else could be doing trade. So yeah. Or actually, no, slave trade abolished in D.C. So that's not by D.C. That's in D.C. So within the District of Columbia, within Washington D.C. itself, no more slave trading, but everybody else could still do it, or something like that. Anyway, 4 years later, in 1854, Battle of the Alma. British, French, and Ottoman alliance defeated the Russian Empire in the first major battle of the Crimean War. 1860, the first British royalty to visit the U.S. was Prince of Wales. He was later King Edward the 7th. Alright, well that's cool. So that's almost 100 years after the war, so that's 90 years. So yeah, about time. 1863, during the U.S. Civil War, the Battle of Chickamauga near Chattanooga, Tennessee, ended with a Union withdrawal. Yep, we lost that one. So, yep. 1870, Mayor William Tweed was accused of robbing the New York treasury. What am I, Fred Rogers now? Oh, look at this treasure. Treasure. In 1879, Ulysses S. Grant and his family went to San Francisco to elaborate extended visit. Or for an elaborate extended visit. Okay, well that's cool. Ulysses S. Grant and his family. Nice. 2 years later, in 1881, Chester A. Arthur was sworn in as the 21st U.S. president. Nice. Look at those chops, dude. Mutton chops. Looks like he's eating a little bit too much mutton, but yeah. Anyway, moving on up into the 1900s. 1904, Orville and Wilbur Wright flew a circle in their Flyer 2. Oh, that's cool. Woo. Yeah. Even though they're not the first people to invent aviation, but whatever. 1913, U.S. Open Men's Golf, the Country Club. 20-year-old amateur Francis Arment won his only Open title in an 18-hole playoff, 5 strokes ahead of Britain's Harry Vardon and Ted Ray. Dang. That's good. I want that hat. Yeah, the classic golfer's hat, you know. I don't know why that's the style for golfers, but, you know, whatever. It's a cool, interesting-looking hat. In the year 1919, legendary baseball slugger Babe Ruth tied Ned Williamson's MLB mark of 27 home runs with a 9th-inning blast in Boston Red Sox 4-3 win against Chicago White Sox. So I have black socks, so yeah. Anyway, 1919 as well, PGA Championship Men's Golf, Engineers Country Club. Defending champion Jim Barnes defeated Fred McLeod 6-5 in the final. 3 years after that, 1922, St. Louis Cardinals' future Baseball Hall of Fame infielder Rogers Hornsby ended hitting streak of 33 games. Dang. But he made it to 33. So that's interesting. We have an assassination attempt in 1926. Bugs Moran attempted to assassinate Al Capone in a drive-by shooting, but failed. What a moron. Man, dude, seriously. Going after Al Capone? Who do you think you are, the IRS? 1931, MLB's Lou Gehrig's 4th RBIs break his old RBI mark of 175 en route to 184. Yep. Runnings, battings, ins. I'm slowly learning the cycle, which is a single, a double, a triple, home run. So that's the cycle, not the line. So, Dad, if you're watching this, I'm learning. 1932, Mahatma Gandhi began a hunger strike against the way Hindu untouchables were treated. Yep, and this guy does hunger strikes. 6 years later, 1938, Dmitri Shostakovich's Suite for Jazz Orchestra premiered. Alright. We have a boxing title fight. 1939, Joe Louis put Bob Pastor down 5 times before an 11th round knockout at Briggs Stadium in Detroit in his 8th heavyweight boxing title defense. Yeah. And 1953, Cubs' Ernie Banks hit his first Major League home run. Nice. Congratulations. 1954, Roger Bannister was awarded Britain's Silver Pears Trophy. What's a Silver Pear Trophy? Britain's Silver Pears Trophy. Let's look this up. Silver Pears Trophy. Let's see here. It was an award presented annually by Pears Encyclopedia for outstanding British achievement in any field. The trophy was possibly awarded prior to 1953 and after 1958, but more research is needed on the subject. So it was a very short-lived, here's an award for being the most British. I had a good time. Britishness. Always Britishing about. So, well, I'm going to add the link to this wiki in the underbar, just for anybody who's interested. Moving on up into 1955, Willie Mays of the Giants homers off Vern Law of the Pirates in both ends of DH. Whatever DH is. What is DH? Down hit? I don't know. 1957, Leontine Price made her operatic stage debut singing Madame Ledon in the U.S. premiere of Dialogues of the Carmelites in San Francisco. Wow, Camelties, Carmelites. Huh. Yep. In 1961, black U.S. student James Meredith was refused enrollment to the segregated University of Mississippi. Well, I hope he got in somewhere, so I don't know. 1961 as well, Roger Maris hit home run number 55 and Barley misses number 60 in game 154 of the season. Yanks clinch the pennant number 26. Alright. Let's see here, 1962, I see Ben Bella won the first elections in independent Algeria, so that's cool. And 1 year later, 1963, JFK proposed a joint U.S.-Soviet voyage to the moon. Yeah, that didn't work out. That would have been interesting, though. 165 days later, in 1964, Gunter Grass's play Die Plebiscien Proben den Aufstand premiered in Berlin. I don't speak German, so, but I know Die means the, so yeah. This guy looks a lot like someone I've met. Why is that face so familiar? I swear I met someone who looks like that. Anyway, 1967, British Linear Queen Elizabeth II was launched at, or Liner Queen Elizabeth II was launched at Clydebank, Scotland. I've been to the Queen Elizabeth, the first one at least, the one out in California, Long Beach, I think is where it's at. Yeah. 1968, Mickey Mantle hit his final. 1968, Mickey Mantle hit his final career home run, which was number 536. That's a lot of home runs. That's a lot of hitting homers. That's a lot of doughs, you know. Anyway, 1 year after that, 1965, 58th Davis Cup, U.S. pair Bob Lutz and Stan Smith clinched final 8-6, 6-1, 11-9 over Aili Natase and Ion Tiriac of Romania in Cleveland, Ohio, ending at 5-0. We have a Ryder Cup. First we have the Davis Cup. Now we have the Ryder Cup in 1969 as well. Ryder Cup golf. Royal Berkensdale Golf Club. U.S. Great Britain tie, 16-16. Great sporting gesture. U.S.'s Jick Nicklaus conceded missable 3-foot putt to Tony Jacklin at the 18th hole for the draw. That's how you play the game. 1 year later, in 1970, Jim Morrison was found guilty for open profanity and indecent exposure after allegedly exposing himself at a concert in Miami in 1969. Yeah, he got caught up in the moment, but, you know, live and learn, so. Nobody wants to see your junk, man. At least nobody normal. 1972, police found cannabis growing on Paul and Linda McCartney's farm. Ooh. What a surprise. 1973, Billie Jean King defeated Bobby Riggs in Battle of Sexes tennis match. Okay. 1975, David Bowie's Fame single went for #1 for 2 weeks. Good. Then we have another Ryder Cup in 1975. Ryder Cup golf at Laurel Valley Golf Course. U.S. defeated Great Britain and Ireland 21-11. Arnold Palmer, non-playing American captain, or U.S. captain, Bernard Hunt, GB and I skipper. Okay, I don't know what all that is. 365 days later, 1976, Playboy released Jimmy Carter's interview, which include the quote, "I've looked on a lot of women with lust," end quote. Oh, Jimmy Carter. You horn dog peanut farmer man, come on, dude. Where's your, you know, decorum? Come on. In 1979, we have a coup in Central African Republic as David Bako overthrew Emperor Bokassa I. Yep, and just way too elaborate. This is giving off serious Vatican vibes, you know, like they're up in there with all this gold stuff, and then they tell people to live within their means. Are you kidding me? This guy has a fucking gold bird behind him, and he looks so regal. You know, it's ridiculous. 1980, Blizzard of Oz, the debut solo album by English rock musician Ozzy Osbourne, was released in the United Kingdom. Or, as I should read in his voice, I don't know. I can't even start to pretend to be mushbrain like him with all the drugs. Anyway, moving on up into 1980 as well, George Brett went 0-4, dropping his average below .400 for good. Aw, that's not good. 1987, 39th Emmy Awards. L.A. Law, Bruce Willis, and Sharon Gless won. Yeah. 1987 as well. Chicago running back Walter Payton scored his NFL record's 107th rushing touchdown in the Bears' 20-3 victory over Tampa Bay. That is a clobbering. 20-3. Wow. Just quit already. 1987 double as well. French driver Alain Prost won Portuguese Grand Prix at Estoril, his record 28th Formula One victory. Nice. 1 year later, in 1988, U.S. driver Greg Louganis won the 3-meter springboard gold medal at the Seoul Olympics after famously hitting his head on the board the previous day. Yep, we were talking about this the other day. I just nicked it, so... 1989, musical Miss Saigon premiered in London, created by Claude Michael Schoenberg and Elaine Bobile, or Boblil. 1998, Federation Cup Women's Tennis at Geneva, Switzerland. Conchita Martinez and Arantixa Sanchez Vicario defeated Martina Hingis and Patty Schneider of Switzerland 6-0, 6-2 in doubles decider to clinch Spain's 5th title 3-2. Good. The TV crime in 1999, the TV crime procedural Law and Order Special Victims Unit, created by Dick Wolf, starring Mariska Hargitay and Christopher Meloni, premiered on NBC. All right. Moving on up into 2001, in an address to a joint session of Congress and the U.S. people, U.S. President George W. Bush declared a war on terror. Yeah, and just like every other war on something random that this country has done, how goes the war on drugs? Yep, that's what I thought. 2005, model Kate Moss was dropped by clothing chain H&M after allegations of drug taking. Ooh. Well, H&M, cancel me. I don't care. 2008, Farm Aid 21 held in Mansfield, Massachusetts. Performers included Willie Nelson, John Mellencamp, Neil Young, Dave Matthews, Jerry Lee Lewis, Kenny Chesney, The Pretenders, Mo, Arlo Guthrie, Steve Earle, Grace Potter and the Nocturnals, Jacob Dylan, and the Gold Mountain Rebels. That's the lineup. We have an Emmy Awards 2009, the 61st to be exact. Mad Men, 30 Rock, Bryan Cranston, and Glenn Close won. 2 years later, 2011, Call Me Maybe, single by Canadian singer Carly Rae Jepsen, was released. Hey, I just met you, and this is crazy, but here's my number, so call me maybe. Why do I know this? 2011, The New Girl, starring Zoe Deschanel, debuted on Fox. We have an election of interest in 2015. Alexis Tsipras and Syriza party declared the winners in Greek snap election. All right, go Greece. 2015 as well, Pope Francis met Fidel Castro in Havana on the first day of his tour of Cuba. 2016, This Is Us, a TV drama premiering in the U.S. starring Mandy Moore and Milo Ventimiglia, premiered. Okay, never heard of it. 2018, EU leaders including Donald Tusk. Wow, really? Donald Tusk. Donald Trump, Elon Musk, Donald Tusk. You combine those two, you get Donald Tusk. And Emmanuel Macaroni criticized Theresa May's Brexit plan at a summit in Salzburg, Austria. Well, Macron, shut your yap. You're the one who set fire to the Notre Dame, so yeah. 2019, Australian Prime Minister Scott Morrison welcomed for a week-long visit at the White House by U.S. President Donald Trump. That's cool. 2019 as well, students from 185 countries staged the world's largest ever protest on climate change, culminating in Manhattan rally led by Greta Thunberg. So, yeah. How dare you! I'm gonna do a stunt and sail a boat across the Atlantic while all my camera crew and constituents fly, thus making me a hypocrite, but you have to buy an electric car. Fucking Greta Thunberg, you puppet. 2021 first edition of Mary Shelley's 1818 novel Frankenstein sold for $1.17 million, setting a new world record for a printed work by a woman. Good. That was just last year. Before we move on to the burst of deaths, were there any articles that grabbed your interest more than most? Anything you want me to elaborate on? Anything you want to elaborate on? You have any questions? Start a dialogue in the comments section. Let's go. Keep the conversation going. History never stops. Moving on in the burst, starting us off in the year 1486, we have Arthur, Prince of Wales. He was an English crown prince, son of King Henry VII of England, and the first husband of Catherine of Aragon, born in Winchester, England, dying in 1502. We have Ernesto Teodoro Moneta, born on this date in 1833. He was an Italian journalist, soldier, and pacifist. He was born in Milan, Lombardy, dying in 1918. We have Upton Sinclair. That's a name that's kind of familiar. 1878, a U.S. writer for the Jungle. Oh, that's right, Jungle. That's what led to the FDA. Born in Baltimore, Maryland, dying in 1968. Thank you, Upton Sinclair. You revolutionized health. Really good. Maxwell Perkins, born on this date in 1884. He was an American editor and publisher, born in New York City, New York, dying in 1947. Then we have Red Auerbach, 1917, a U.S. Basketball Hall of Fame coach, general manager for the Boston Celtics. Boston! 9-time NBA champion, born in Brooklyn, New York. Hey, I'm New Yorking here. Dying in 2006. We have Sophia Loren, 1934. Actual name Sofia Villani Schiccolone. Italian actress. La Chio Chiara in Desire Under Elms and Black Orchid. Born in Rome, Italy. We have Sani Abacha, 1943. The de facto president of Nigeria from 1993 to 98, born in Kano, Nigeria, dying in 1998. Why does it look like he's crying? Maybe those are war scars or something. I don't know. We have Guy Lafleur, 1951, a Canadian Hockey Hall of Fame right wing, 5-time Stanley Cup, 2-time NHL MVP, NHL Playoff MVP, Montreal Canadiens, New York Rangers, Quebec Nordics. Born in Thurso, Quebec, Canada, dying in 2022, this year. So when did he die? April 22nd. Well, that sucks. 1954, we have Lloyd Blankfein, a U.S. CEO and chairman of Goldman Sachs, born in New York City, New York. And let's see here. We have John Tavares, born on this date in 1990. He is a Canadian ice hockey player for the New York Islanders, born in Mississauga, Ontario. Moving on to the deaths. Starting us off in 1168, we have Pascal III, Guido di Crema, who was an Italian anti-pope from 1164 to 68. Died of cancer at the age of about 58, give or take. Something like that. Moving on up, we lost Jacob Grimm in 1863. Was a German philologist, folklorist, and editor of Grimm's fairy tales. Dies at the age of 78. So one of the brothers Grimm died on this date. Dang. That's rather grim. 1945, we have Edward Ritz, was a Nazi physician at Auschwitz, committed suicide at the age of 36. Good. Good. Piece of crap. 1957, we have Jean Sibelius. He was a Finnish composer, Vals Trieste and Finlandia. Died at the age of 91. That's up there. Yeah, good. Moving on up into... That's it. That concludes the show. Once again, you can check the underbar of the description for any links you may find interesting. For your dose of Passive Events Daily, we stream every day at 10 in the morning Pacific Time. For all of you and all of us, I am A.O. Xander, and you are you. And until you check us out tomorrow, don't forget to look right and left at every intersection, rate 5 thumbs, and subscribe. Until then, toodles! Where's the thing? Where's the thing? There's a thing. Wait. Oh, crap. Okay. Well, hold on a second. My stupid computer screen, my other monitor wants to be a poopy head, so gotta unplug it. Hold on. I'm sorry. I know I'm still on the air, but I can't access my program. There we go.